welcome to another Let's Draw with Murphy's Law. Today we are finishing, hopefully, or at least getting as close to finish as we can, on our Sonru, the Monkey Man. If you notice, there's no weird hissy pump sound in the background today. I have changed rooms to a room that is less noisy. Oh, got a weird delay there for a second. There we go. I changed rooms so that the audio would be a little bit cleaner. Hopefully it all works out well. But yeah, jumping right into it and getting a start on the hair here. I'll probably make my brush a bit smaller so I don't have to keep doing this. Do the edging that we talked about in the last video. And this is going to be the kind of longest part, not necessarily lengthwise, but longest doing one thing, you know, instead of just doing a bit of this, a bit of that, and a bit of another thing, like with the eyes and the teeth and the fingernails. It's one straight shot mostly, this video, of the hair, and if all goes well, the skin. The last thing we'll color is the pebbles he's holding. Usually that would go in a top layer, but I think in this case doing them afterwards won't be much more of a hassle. Down here is what I'm talking about, those things. Again, for anybody just tuning in to the channel, I'm Murphy's Law, and I am drawing a representation of the Chinese Zodiac monkey. It's a character that I designed about 2 years ago as part of a series of a whole bunch of Zodiac guys and girls I did. I never did the snake or the dragon. I had sketches of what I wanted them to look like, and I could never get them to look perfect. Perhaps I will finish it sometime in the future, but for now, this is what it is. Well, not this precisely. This is one of the original 10 of 12. And this is what we're working on now. I'm going to be putting up a Let's Draw on a loose schedule of every Tuesday and Thursday, Wednesday and Friday. Tuesday and Thursday are going to be game videos, and then once throughout the week there will be a extra video. This week will be an exception to the schedule, as I am going away to New Brunswick to visit my niece and my brothers and my grandmother, who all live in that province. I'm excited to see them. I only see them about once or twice a year, but I'm now in possession of a vehicle and can make the 4-hour drive a lot more frequently, or at least that's the plan. But it means I won't really be able to do any recording because I'll be busy visiting relatives and playing with my niece, and I won't have time to sit in quiet. Maybe do something in the car, but probably not. I do have a hookup for my laptop and stuff in the car that I could drive or use while someone else is driving, but I probably won't, because recording would be weird to do with someone sitting beside me in the driver's seat driving. So yeah, we've got most of the head part outline done. Once we've done this, we can color in the center of this bit before moving on to the ponytail. Little breaky up bits can be difficult. I'll probably do maybe like erase a bit of this line, or dim these lines, like the fringe line here, and blend it in. I'm not sure. We'll see when it's done. I'm not sure exactly how much texture and touch-up I plan on doing to the final product, or just leaving it more or less flat colored. I've mentioned before I'm a fan of flat coloring because it's less work, and I'm not the greatest at shading, but you never get better at shading and texturing if all you ever do is ignore it. You never get good at anything by ignoring it, not practicing. I mean, after all, Nobody's perfect, but practice makes perfect, so why do we keep practicing if nobody's ever going to be perfect? It's a dilemma, a catch-22. Oh, and I have my internet back, by the way. I mean, you might have noticed by the things I posted talking about my internet being down, but neighbors moved in. I'm in a duplex, and the neighbors moved in the underside of our duplex, and when their internet got hooked up, for some reason, the person who hooked it up thought that our internet was from the tenant that had moved out and cut it. Like, literally cut the wire. And suddenly, no internet. And we called them, and they made us do all that restart and troubleshoot and all this, and then sent a guy out the next day, and he took a look at the cords and said, well, something funny is going on here, and hooked us all back up. And luckily, we didn't have to pay the maintenance fee, because normally if they have to come out and fix something, unless it's something that's on their end, they charge you. But this was not our fault. We did nothing wrong. It wasn't anything on our equipment. So, yeah, it was a mistake on one of their technicians, or some technician. It might not have been the same company that hooked up the neighbors. I'm not 100% sure about that. There we go. Now we gotta move down here and make it small again. Don't want to make it big and color too much into the ear and then have to erase everything. There we go. And there's nothing over there. Let's go check over here. No, I think it starts here at the shoulder. So we're gonna go to this invisible line here, because there's gonna be like powder and sand, so to speak. So what I'm gonna do is grab my blender smudge tool here and do that. And I'm going to do the same with the skin that meets up with this line. You won't see the straight line like that when it's done. It'll look different, because there'll be different colors and stuff there, but that's just a guide. It's why I didn't ink it. It's meant more to be a guide of where other color will go. It's also why I'm doing the rocks last instead of on top of the skin, just so I can see what it looks like in complete effect. Now this bit's actually still the hair because it's kind of flipping over. I don't know if it's because the hair's got a mind of its own, like a tail maybe, or just wind, or maybe he moved really weird and his hair is still flopping. I don't know. It looks cool, or I think it looks cool. Sorry if you can hear that bark in the background. I don't know if you can. There's kids playing on the street, and my dog is sad that he is not out there participating in the playing. He thinks barking will make people want to play with him, because he's dumb and doesn't realize that a big dog barking at children doesn't tell them, oh, I want to play, but rather, run away! Not that he's huge, but he's not as tiny as most dogs in my area. I find a lot of people go for the little dogs these days. Not that there's anything wrong with little dogs. They've got their place. They're good for, people who don't have a large space or a lot of time to exercise the larger, more energetic breeds, or an older person who can't handle a big dog for walks. Personally, I like the big dogs, though. Grew up with Malamutes and German Shepherds and all that stuff. If anybody watching this has a dog, tell me what breed. Is it a big dog, a little dog? Does it bark when it wants children to play with it, like a retard? Sorry, I shouldn't use that word. I didn't mean to cause any offense. Okay, I'm just going to color that and erase the middle. Instead of changing brush size over and over again, this is just a little bit quicker. If my brush sensitivity worked right, I wouldn't have to worry about it. I could just use less pressure and the thinness and thickness would change, but the sensitivity works a little bit, but not very well. Oh, another thing to ask the viewers here, any of you a Chinese monkey? Or are you, do you know your Chinese Zodiac? I'm a dragon, which are slightly egotistical, but lucky, good with money, apparently a lot of people like them, find them attractive, but they tend to not notice people that do, I guess. I don't know. You can read up on Chinese Zodiac all over the internet, and it gives a lot of conflicting things, like any kind of astrology or astronomy. No, astrology is star signs. Astronomy is actual study of stars or something. I don't know. Anyways, it's all hooberdashery. I mean, there's no way, at least, I mean, Chinese Zodiac's at least got a little bit more sense to its nonsense, but our Western stuff, the idea that someone who's born in the same month as you, no matter the year, is under the same star signs is, at its core, a non-sound theory, given that the planets don't all move at the same rate, so the planets aren't ever in the same place in September as the September before it. Venus takes like 5 years to go around the sun, Pluto takes like 400 years, so this time next year there will be a completely different set of stars in the sky and planets in different positions. There's no way that you can say everybody born across every September period, so to speak, has the same sign, because it wouldn't work. You'd have to like chart out and find which September had the same star signs, which would probably be once every like, well, if Pluto goes around every like 400 and something years, so then every 400 years. So yeah, you can't have everybody born under the same stars. It's just, that's not how the planets move. Anybody who tells you that that is a thing doesn't understand orbits. Hell, most planets don't even have the same day cycle as us. Mars has like 20 hours in its day instead of 24, I think. Or maybe it has 20 more than us. Something to do with 20. I am not a space scientist. I know a little bit I've learned from watching Discovery Channel and sciencey shows. Bill Nye the Science Guy. I loved him as a kid. Science is cool! And it is, kids. Science is awesome. Not as awesome as drawing monkeys. Or monkey men. But it's awesome. Because one day science will be able to make monkey men. Or, I suppose we are monkey men, so science has already done that, but whatevs. And there we go. Hair is done. Now we go and make a new layer. We don't really have to name this layer. It's pretty obvious. You can see the yellow. That is the hair. The hair is there. Now we need the skin. I'm pretty sure that's it here, but just to be sure, bloop, grabbing the skin there. And our layer is underneath, so we can just do this for most of this stuff. And we're going to have to zoom in a second because there's going to be things that didn't quite color in right. That'll be more obvious once this is done. But for the majority, we can just do this and then go and do the edges. Kind of the opposite of what we've been doing so far, of doing the edges and then the center. Since so much of it is done, we can do it in reverse. And then just bloop, 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 down a little bit. Bloop, down a little bit more. Now, we're gonna have this go down just a little bit past there. Now there's some wispy stuff, so that's why I'm kinda, but I don't want, like, he's kind of not a full picture. We're not drawing the whole arm. We are gonna do the hand in the foreground here, but that is the extent of really what will be fully colored in. And then we'll do what I was doing over there with the hair. And do a bit of this smudgy squidgy to make these swirly gigs where the magic-y stuff will be going on. I love my language. Smudgy wudgy, swirly gigs. These talks good. And since the rocks will be on top of it, we don't have to worry too much about where they are. I will be coloring them on a layer in between 5 and 6. I'm just doing this layer first so I can see better this smudge stuff that I'm trying to do. There we go. And now we zoom in another little bit and shrink this way down for the purpose of doing our edges. And go over here. Now let's see, anywhere on the neck that seems to go into the blue? No. Oh, he's got a little spot here on his teeth that is not teeth color. Now, go here, and we know we use the second white for teeth, so we can just bloop, fix these real easy. And then flip this over to the right side. And now we've got our brown again. Go up, check the nose. Yeah, doesn't seem to be any brown showing up in the middle of the blue there. We want the brown to stay out of the blue. Go up by the eyes, any splots where they shouldn't be. There seems to be a spot here that is not as blue as it should. So we just grab our blue real easy, go into that spot there, and right there, I don't know, yeah, that should be white. So grab our off-white, and then we fix that. Flip again, back to our current color. And there we go. And now we just go up to the ear, do the same thing, follow the edge, fix where we've missed. Oh, went out a little there. I think I see a small little there. Go up to the edge of the ear. I actually think he'd look cool with like an earring or something, but I put earrings on like everything. I need to kind of stop body modificating my characters. Not everybody needs an earring. Not everybody wants to be a pirate. It's the scurvy, you know. It's not as attractive of a life choice as you'd think. Okay, everything looks kosher there. And we zoom out for more full effect. And I think we might be running out of time. I don't want to take this over like 25 minutes max. So what we're going to do real quick is the tips of these fingers. And I guess that we'll have to do the rocks in the next video. Don't have to worry about coloring over them with the fingers, since in this case this stuff will be going on over the pre-color instead of doing it the other way, as I've said a few times. Sorry if I repeat myself. Just like to explain why I'm not caring about coloring out of the lines here. I will have to clean up the stuff that goes into this magic stuff instead of the rocks. And it seems something's sticking out. Yeah, right there. On the eye blue layer, we've got a tiny spot of white. There we go. Go back to our skin and zoom in real quick. Now this stuff here I have to clean up. Anything outside of the rock. Fix that nail. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a little spot in the middle there, not fully colored. And that tip got erased too much. There. Might as well erase a little bit on the rock while I'm fixing this side of the finger. And there. Now all that's left is to color this stuff in gray and do this effect there. And again, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the lettering. Might just grab bold lettering and put that on. I'm not sure. Might just cut it off. Who knows? But there you go. All that's left is that one last thing, which hopefully we'll be able to finish up in our next video. Again, not going to have the time to do it probably until Monday, but I'll see if I get some free time. And that's all. Thank you. Gotta save. Always remember to save. Saving is your friend. But yeah, this has been Let's Draw Sanru with Murphy's Law. See you next time.